should start beating men again because it's actually vital for the ecosystem to do it. It's like you have to be the natural apex predator in your relationship and take that nigga down. It is necessary because you know when I hear shit about the disputes had back in the day, some of them were necessary. Like, you know, like no offense, some of y'all had abusive grandfathers, and you want to know how they stopped being abusive grandfathers? It wasn't from love and affection and realizing the error of their ways. It was from your mom or your grandmother would get a nice big pot of hot grits on the stove so that it's like, okay, we've had a good 4 weeks, but I can tell he woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, and I am the wrong one to mess with. And then no one, lo and behold, she had to give that man, when he came to that kitchen, and he tried to be like, bitch, why is my food not ready? And tried to hit her because he was upset. Guess what? She threw those hot fucking grits on him and whooped his ass. She put vegetable oil all over the floor and belt him with the metal end of her belt buckle, his own belt buckle. She took the hot iron and started ironing his ass cheeks and tore his ass up. She had that man hospitalized, but you know what she did? Then she laid him down. She put an ice pack on him, you know, put bandages on him, soothed him, kissed his forehead, and said, here we go, baby. Here's your breakfast, what's left of it. Now, I assume you want to be in a much better mood, because I assume you don't want, like, dinner served the exact same way if you put your fucking hands on me. And then guess what? Your granddad learned to resolve his fucking anger. And he was like, actually, I have a woman who's very sexy when she beats me, and she loves me. And I'm scared of her, but you know what? Fuck it. And then they started acting right. And then it's like, I'm just saying, sometimes it's healthy when the woman terrorizes the man. They need that. Because if you don't, they will drag your ass through a million lifetimes of hell. Sympathy will get you nowhere with a man. Throwing hands will get you everywhere. Like, it's so, I'll admit it, like, I remember because I'll put it this way, when I was younger, I've hit people before. I have. Felt bad about it for years. And then only recently, I think because they say your brain starts fully developing around like 23 or 25, or maybe it just was like so much free time during the pandemic. But then I realized it's like, oh yeah, wait a minute. When I slapped that guy, it's because he was specifically trying to gaslight and neg me and insult my intelligence repeatedly and trying to go in circles with me conversationally when he was actually having weird late night hangouts with his girl best friend and not telling me about it. Like, why is she up in your bedroom and you're watching movies together and I don't know about it? Like, you know, I wasn't trying to say don't hang out with her again. Like, let's just say he tried me and he had to fuck around and find out. And eventually it's like, yeah, do you want to sit there as some white boy is going, well, I just personally think that you need to work on your insecurities. And it's like, I don't like when people talk to me in that tone, especially a man. The way, because it's like, I'm someone who really, really, really tried. I tried to leave before it was going to get very bad between us because he wasn't putting in efforts to make it good. He didn't want to let me go, though. He was acting like, you know, crying in the fucking rain and being all emotional, whining to everybody, all that. And let me just say, we tried to get back together just for, you guessed it, his fucking ex threatened to beat my ass. I mean, not his ex, his girl best friend basically was like, if she shows up to your birthday party and you bring her, like, and I see her there, I'm gonna start shit. And it's like, and then he was like, yeah, I'm gonna let her stay because she's my childhood best friend. And it's like, oh, okay, so we just got back together. It's been less than a week. You were acting all lovey-dovey and ecstatic to be with me, and then instead of setting a boundary with your weird-ass friend, and that wasn't even the first boundary she crossed, but it was the biggest one. Let's just say I remembered the conversation we had in his car, and I remember how quickly I had to put hands and feet on him. Didn't have to, but I kind of knew. It's like, yeah, I'm patting myself. I was blacking out, and I was 19, and I was like, you're not about to stress me the fuck out. But you know what? You know what happened? He changed his voice. He changed his tone, and he was like, actually, I was wrong, and I'm sorry. And I should have not spoken to you that way. And you're entirely right. And it's like, see, I'm just kidding. Well, no, that actually did happen. But even then, I was right, though. I was very much right. But you know, then afterwards, like, you know, we had a weird toxic evil thing going on for a while. But eventually it did get good again because, you know, I was like, I never want to hit you again. I don't want to be that type of person that does that to you, blah, blah, blah. Tried to work it out. That didn't end so well either. Let's not talk about it. But, oh, the biggest instance. So I've talked about this story before about how I had to whoop an ex's ass, and funny enough, it actually came into conversation recently with a group of guys who I met up with. And as they were all talking to me, it came up conversationally. One of them was like, Tamia, what's something that people should know about you that you are excited to tell them about, but it just doesn't come up? And I said, ooh, I've been threatened with a lot of restraining orders, but the men usually like me too much, so then they just like stick around and stay instead. And then he was like, oh wow, and it's like, yeah, like fully. Funny enough, that actually is how that's why I didn't want to bring it up. The guy who I just described before that I put hands and feet on, I remember the way he was trying to act like I wasn't shit, and the way, and well, okay, I don't want to talk about it. Let's just say he was very much one of the first examples of me being like, I want to stop being toxic and tormenting you, and like, I don't want to hold you emotionally hostage, and like have you like we should like, or you do that to me. I don't. Let's just go. I wrote him a letter. I gave him a hug. I was gonna leave so peacefully. Then that man started crying and shit and leaving me voicemails and texts. And it's like, bro, why are you mad that I'm consensually no longer going to chase after you and stalk you? Get a fucking grip. He was weird. Like, yeah, nigga, I dumped you on Valentine's Day, but we weren't even a couple. Shut the fuck up. Stupid shit. He was a dumbass. Anyway, don't get me started on him. But I just like, okay, but either way, back to what I was saying. So a few nights ago, I had a hangout, and I guess they wanted to know the lore, and I guess I explained the lore to one of them, and I was like, yeah, once for an ex, I punched out his windows to his place on like the night before Christmas. It's funny how it's always the night before like a massive romantic holidays when a crash out will happen for me. The holidays are a good time to crash out. Like fuck it, you know where everyone's at. Like they're out somewhere. They're partying. They're with their family. They were on a date. You can punch out their windows on Christmas Eve. I did that. And they were like, "Why'd you do that?" And then I said, "Oh, because I had to beat his ass a few days before." And they were like, "Oh, okay. Well, right. Why did you beat his ass?" And then I said, "Oh, he tried to rape me." And it's like, "Oh, he tried to rape you." Well, yeah. And then no offense, I told them the whole story and they were just like, "Yeah, no offense. It sounds like you seem like a pretty nice lady, actually. It sounds like all someone has to do is like not try to rape you, and that's a really fucking that's an unbelievably low bar. What the fuck is wrong with him?" And they all basically were on my side of, yeah, we stand with you, Timothy. Oh, and also speaking of which, the guy for Valentine's Day, that one. Funny enough, with that one, several of his own friends, some of his closest friends actually, like one of them was like he called his best friend even, stayed friends with me for like basically the entire pandemic, like almost a full 3 years of being my friends after that breakup. And also, most of them still tried to date me. They knew I was vocal about what happened. I was vocal, like they saw the psychotic shit that I was up to. They saw the way I talked about him. They saw that it was definitely like Tamia's losing her fucking mind. But at the same time, they also, like, I told them the full story, like, also not hiding the bad parts I did. I did plenty of things that were scary. And I'm sorry about them. Don't worry. That's why I'm 25 now. Lots of time has passed. And that, but the niggas didn't care. They were like, who cares? You're hot. Or they hear the full story and they're like, wow, that is a lot, but you know what? He did always talk to you like shit. And actually, yeah, he should have. None of what happened with his girl best friend should have ever occurred. I see why eventually you just fucking lost your shit. I would have not stayed calm either. Simply put, I don't know. Like, as time has gone on, and the more I interact with men, you just kind of see situations where it's like, yeah, you should have talked to me. Like, okay, I remember another instance I felt bad about beating a man. Like I felt bad about it for so long. It was that fucked up pandemic relationship with that one weird blonde nigga. And let's just say, eventually your brain develops, and then you're like, actually, you know what? Remember that time he like basically was pressuring and coercing and guilt tripping me into sex? Remember that other time? Remember that other time when he wanted to try to do that about anal, as if that was ever going to work with his Coke can size dick? Ever? Remember how he said that he wanted a future with you and to have 5 kids and to make you his wife and all this, but deep down, he was still stalking his ex every single day of your relationship and had a whole folder on his computer, an entire folder on his computer, where every single day he would find her Instagram and he would download like photos of her, videos of her, and her 24-hour Instagram story. Do you know how terrifying it was when I just like one day I was using his laptop to order myself some DoorDash. And that nigga was also trying to get stingy too. It's like, nigga, you keep bragging about how you're making like thousands each fucking week without paying rent and all that. And we live in a like you live in a fucking shitty ass San Jose food desert area, nigga. Like I have no car, there's no public transit out here. I don't have a key to your house and you don't have any food, so I'm gonna DoorDash from your account. But he was trying to be stingy and he was trying to be all, oh, I don't know about always spending $30 to $40 meals. Shut the fuck up, nigga. But let me tell you, he didn't give a fuck about no $30 or $40 meals when I opened up his computer and had a gut feeling to check his download history and found a folder with thousands upon thousands upon thousands of videos, photos, and stories. Even, and I checked the timestamps. So even like one night when I talked to him and I was like, you mentioned that girl Sarah a lot, the one who you paid for sex, that old fuck buddy. Like, I don't know, I don't know, I just don't feel like you're over her yet. Are you sure you're ready to date me? And he was like, I absolutely want no one else but you. She's nothing to me. Minutes, like 30 seconds before that conversation, he was downloading videos of her. I want to beat his ass again right fucking now. Just talk. I want to. With the fucking lock in a sock. His big old fucking ugly ass nostrils, no lips, bug eyes, stupid fucking forehead. His forehead was square. I never liked that about him. Fuck him. Fucking baseball plate. I hate that most. Oh, I hate when I also. He and my other ex, who I also hit. Honestly, it is funny that they both had like head shapes and like that just looked like baseball plates. Like, like with home run type shit. Pale, square, angular, scary. That nigga was fucked up looking at. Anyway, like I said, I know myself very well and I'm a very patient person. Sometimes a little too patient. Like, if you knew all the patience I had with the nigga who I put hands and feet on that Valentine's Day, like, all the patience I had before that, after that, all of that, you would have been like, wow, Timothy, you're a saint. But also, holy fucking shit, girl, wow. With this nigga. I hope it didn't flash titty on accident. Sorry. Let's just say he didn't give like the shopping spree he took me on as a guilt gift, like you know, gift shopping after he got me like $700 worth of stuff from Target. Like hella pillows, hella blankets, I think some stuffed animals, I don't fully remember. Definitely a lot of jewelry and clothing and cosmetics and everything, like everything. I was ecstatic as fuck. But I remember that when we got home, he tried to make an excuse for it and tried to allude that I was just insecure anyway, and that I should just respect that he loves her, and that, and it's like, oh, so you're going to tell me, like, he said something along the lines of like that he loved her, and I just, oh my God, I still didn't crash out then. There was a weird point in time where I went back to dating him mainly just for money. It was a difficult time. The California fires were happening. It was a pandemic, and I lived with abusive family, and it's not like I could go out, and it's not like they were remembering to feed me. So it's like, okay, I don't thrive in neglect. So, but if I'm gonna be in a neglectful situation, I'll be with the nigga in San Jose who's gonna feed me. And he was getting stingier and more assholey and terrible. I fucking hate that guy. I think he even lied to me at some point that a fancy restaurant that I like was gonna had burned down in the California fires. And back then, I just didn't even bother to look up if it was true because I thought, okay, either it's true and there's nothing I can do about it, but I feel annoyed because I don't trust my partner, or I found out it's fake and that he just hates me enough that it's my birthday and he doesn't want to take me to a restaurant he promised to take me because, like, he's a dick. And let's just say time went on. Uh, let's just say I put hands and feet on that nigga eventually. I remember the exact night it was. I was at his place and we were talking, and it was fine. And then he yet again brought it up, and he just basically was talking about like how I'm just crazy and I'm just insecure and delusional. And it's like in this time period, he also multiple times tried to contact his ex-girl. not that was never even his girlfriend. He was paying her to fuck. He had to pay every single time to fuck her, and she hated him. She said his dick was barely tolerable. Oh my god, I hate this man. Yeah, anyway, let's just say I triggered the fuck out of that man's vasopressin by beating the absolute shit out of him, and it was so much fun to do so. I wish it felt as satisfying but it's okay. It did not feel satisfying when I was hitting him because I have very skinny arms and I didn't know. Like, I'll put it this way, I was punching, my strength is slapping. I backhanded the fuck out of him at some point though, and I heard his nose crinkle like a fucking Lay's chip bag, and that was a lot of fun. But like punching, no, because I was punching incorrectly, but it was still kind of fun to do so. It just wasn't really having an effect on him. It pissed him off though. Didn't have that much of an effect. I should have been like, do you hear that? Do you hear the wind with the smack? Like, it gets lethal. Like, these hands are lethal, and I should, like, oh, I don't think I had my claws back then. Did I have my claws? I would have definitely used those. Anyway, oh, and then I spit in his face. I forgot that happened. Damn, I forgot that happened. Fuck that nigga. And I felt bad about it for ages until with time it was like, you know what? Yeah, because I was like, I was 19 and he was like 29, just turned 30. I was the only person in his life that liked him, and this is how he treated me. Yeah, yeah. And I stopped feeling bad for him. I almost went ahead and actually, yeah, it's so funny. I almost broke his fucking windows. But then pussied out last second because I thought, oh, I care about him. I want to see if we could have one more productive conversation and be his friend. And let's just say the conversation went very, very shitty. But on the plus side, I got to witness his dad coming home and him telling his dad, oh my God, dad, I'm the #1 seller in the entire country for the company Lamps Plus. I'm so good. They're good. Like, they might even give me a promotion. And he was talking so happy. And the way his dad just fully looked at him like with so much vitriol, like he literally breathed out at him on some I don't give a fuck why you talking to me. Because he was just trying to get a beer. He wasn't trying to hear his stupid fucking ugly chud son talk. And I saw that moment and I thought, damn, I think that hurts way more than like breaking his windows would have. I don't even have to torment this man because I'm just gonna leave him where the fuck he's at and that's his punishment enough. I'm just kidding. I later on messaged his entire family screenshots proving that he's a rapey son of a bitch. And harassed his family for ages. It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Also, funny enough, according to this video, I'm remembering more times I've punched out windows. I really, that, like, wow. Yeah. I remember when I was like 18 or so. Funny enough, this was like right before I started dating the dude, the Valentine's Day guy. I remember I was talking to some homeless people and they talked about having some items missing. And it was right after they hung out with me. And I was like, just so you know, it's not me. I'm not a thieving person. I'm not a thief. I know that I haven't gotten along great with every person in this group. But I promise. Well, actually, no, I did get along well with every person in that group. But still, I was just like, hey, just in case. I know I'm new here. I promise I didn't take anything, and they said no, no, and also especially if you seem like the type where if you're pissed at someone, you wouldn't steal from them. You would like probably break their shit. Like you seem more of like a vandalism person, and it's like I hate that they're unfortunately very true. Vandalism runs in my family. My mom was arrested when she was around like 20 years old or something, 19, 20. She dated a guy. He pissed her off, so she covered his car in gasoline and set it on fire and exploded that shit. And then she got arrested. But they let her out on good behavior because they were like, hey, you know what? This is a very pretty, cute young girl who has her whole life ahead of her, and this is an ain't shit nigga. And she got away with it. It was awesome. I think she just had to do community service. Hell yeah. You know what? Honestly, maybe I could. Sorry. I was about to joke. I should commit more crimes. What? And then my punishment is I get to feed like the poor and the hungry, or like take care of school kids, or like what? Like I don't know, like pick up garbage and help my community. That sounds pretty good. That's shit I already like to do anyway. I could just punch more people and do that. Jesus. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Hmm. Oh, but yeah. Yeah, that was necessary. Sometimes I think women should hit more men. I think we should. I think we should, honestly. Like, it's so funny. I'm anti hitting I'm anti women being abusive to men, but sometimes it is necessary because there is a such thing as reactive abuse. It's like where you are indeed hurting someone, but it's because they triggered a bunch of shit for you. So it's literally like a fuck around and find out situation where it's like, hey, maybe she wouldn't have whooped your ass if you would have just like stopped trying to force her to fuck you in the middle of the night. But now, since you have kept her up for 3 hours trying to coerce her into sex, now your fucking nose is broken because you were out here gripping, groping, trying to forcefully finger, doing a bunch of terrible stuff that you know is bad. So enjoy your broken hand and your broken nose and the bite marks on your body. Because you're not about to destroy me, I'm about to destroy you. The good thing is, you can choose to be the most threatening person in the room at any time. Once I have found that out, it's made life so much more fun. Because if a man puts you in a situation where he's trying to intimidate you and make it seem like he's the big bad wolf, you can just remind him that you're a wolf in sheep's clothing. Or actually, you're more like a fucking Lovecraftian horror. He doesn't know what he's opening up, you know? He doesn't know that he has invited the monster in his own house, you know? I'm just saying, men don't like to think about women's capabilities, and it's so funny. Like, I remember once I joked online about how if a man invites you to his house for the first date, you could go over there and just rob his ass. Like, nothing's stopping you. You could take every single, like, the shoelaces in all of his shoes, the remote to his fucking TV, batteries out of, like, you could take his laptop charger. You could just fucking, honestly, the second he goes to the bathroom, take his rainbow keyboard and sprint down the street with it, hitting the high knees. What's he gonna do? He doesn't know your name. He doesn't know your address. Like, he doesn't even have your phone number. You are good to go, baby. Like, just do it. Fuck it. I support tormenting men. But simply put, the best part is oh yeah, I dated this one really, really rich guy. Like, he was one of those like finance bro types and like a nepo baby to like let's just say his great grandfather or whatever is one of the wealthiest men alive at the moment. Like, one of them, like super rich financial analyst type. And the way that this man tried to neg me in his house, and the way he did it is like he basically was trying to pressure me into sex and I said no. And then this man put on like a weird Bane voice trying to neg me and seduce me. Like, imagine you're at a dude's house and you're like, he's like, hey, how would you feel about having sex with me tonight? And then I say, oh, well, I'm not against it. I think it's just a little bit too soon. I have more that I'd like to do with you first and get to know you better. But, you know, hey, I do feel an attraction. Maybe it could happen where, like, later on in the evening, like, or I said, I would like, I don't feel like you're truly that attracted to me, but I would like to know, like, okay, what do you find attractive about me? I would love like a compliment just to know what you like about me. Just list it out. And you know, any smart man would have been like, I love your eyes, I love your amazing figure, I love your like, and transition that into obviously dirty talking or whatever. But the way this man was like, oh what? Oh what? Like, you need me to tell you why I like you? You can't just assume I like you? And what like and what? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, what? You don't know you're attractive? You want me to tell you you're attractive? Okay, so why do you need me to do that? And he had an attitude and was being really shitty and snarky. And I forget the exact way he said it because I've talked about this so many times that it's almost like nothing to me now. I've almost forgotten it from how tired I get of even telling this story to myself. But he specifically went out of his way to just like be like, I mean, I guess you're okay. Like, and just kind of, I remember the sentence he said that really pissed me off. He was like, I mean, I've met attractive people before. And I was like, cool, what's that got to do with give me a compliment? And he just kept trying to be like, make excuses or say offhand remarks trying to elude something. And I would just circle back to, okay, what about my compliment though? Oh, it's nothing to compliment someone who you want to have sex with. So how about you say it? And I knew his tactic. I knew his game. He was trying to get in my head. It wasn't gonna fucking work. But let's just say eventually he kept it up, but then even worse, he eventually did this thing where like anytime I looked away from him, he would unbutton a single button on his shirt and lower his pants slightly. And then like eventually it got to a point where it happened enough. Like the first few buttons, I thought, okay, maybe they just slipped open. Maybe his pants are falling. Maybe he's just skinny. Until eventually, this man fully has unbuttoned his shirt, and his hairy fucking Brillo pad chest and neon pink huge puffy nipples pointing two opposite direction. His cannons were out, and he had a scrawny ass chest. So if you're scrawny with a hairy chest, that's not sexy. That's just a bird's nest. I'm just sorry. Damn, that's a bar. I should write that down. That's a rap bar. Hey, hit him in his bird chest with the bird nest. Look at, oh, have him in duress. Have that nigga stressed with his face so pressing. Oh, yeah, he started undressing. Oh, my God. Started throwing hands. Oh, my God, nigga, you ain't my man. Anyway, I'm done. Bars, nigga. Bars. Anyway. But yeah, suck my dick, dude. The way this man, also, he was like, trying to look strong, but you can't do that if you're extremely underweight as a man. So his like sternum so bony and hairy, he was just arching his spine on purpose to try to look like he was a sexy, breathless, heaving, muscular man. It was not working. And he put on this weird like Bane voice where he talked like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you. Oh, I'm a Poindexter." Ah. And then the second he tried to be like, "Oh, baby, I know you want some of this, though, don't you?" And at this point, it's like his full shirt was open and his pants were all the way down to his knees, and he had his fucking saggy ass, unfitting boxer briefs. And I didn't see a bulge in those pants in it. It's like you're underweight and wearing loose boxer briefs. You're wearing loose clothing. You're like your dick isn't even hard. Why are you doing this? Why can't I see a bulge, even if you're soft? You're soft in doing this? And from the best of my knowledge, he wasn't even intoxicated. Like we went to In and Out before this. It was weird. Like what a strange man. But let me tell you, it was extremely funny the way that like what happened? Oh yeah. You know how I said I'm a very patient person, so I tried, I ignored his necking attempts. Because at some point I just thought, okay, well, maybe he's just playing with his food or trying to play cat and mouse. But at this point, now he's not getting pussy, but I am going to make him compliment me. And I tried to be patient through that. And I really tried to be patient through all of it. And I started panicking in my brain. Because it's like, here, okay, now it's dark. I have no way of getting home. I don't have money in my account to Uber home either. And I've been in this situation before, and oh God, is it going to happen again? But simply put, like I wasn't getting the energy of rape, but simply put, it's not a good energy when it's late at night and a man is trying to basically pressure you into sex and starts undressing and trying to insult you. And yeah, simply put, it's very uncomfortable to be a woman who's alone with a horny man. I've like even in public, it's rough to be in public with a horny man. Like I've had coworkers get horny in broad daylight, openly like, "It's a shame you don't like black men." Because I think Africans fuck the best. I'm researching the African Kama Sutra, and they'll say that at the top of their lungs at a fucking normal desk job I work. And people will give them funny looks. That guy got fired, by the way, but it wasn't even not even my first instance. And anything like one of the first jobs, actually, yeah, my next job after that, on the first day of me having a shift there, working alongside this man, the entire shift was just 8 hours of him sexually harassing me. And it's like I already said I had a boyfriend, and he already had a girlfriend. And the way it was just like the world's longest instance of a man not taking no for an answer and trying to bring up sex or ask me my favorite position and all this weird shit. I don't fuck with that. But if you're wondering, I didn't report him to my job because I didn't know how HR worked. But simply put, he came clutch because later on something happened where, let's just say, was I doing my job correctly? No. But he didn't snitch on me, and he kept that under wraps because I kept him under wraps and treated him nicely and was willing to just like sweep him under the rug. And so it had an interesting domino effect where it's like, okay, Tamiti isn't doing her overnight shift job correctly and is trying to get fired by Karen, and that was her actual name. But Karen's mean to everyone, and to me is nice to me and hot, and maybe one day I'll have a chance with her. So the way I like he just kind of was like, oh yeah, I checked the cameras. Tamia's doing her job. But Karen was yelling at this lady, and then that was it led to a domino effect where this one bitch got fired for trying to like shit on me and like hate on me, but she hates on everyone. And then I got to keep my job for another 2 years before they realized like, oh, she's not doing her job. It was great. 3 years at a job doing nothing. It was awesome. Good times, good times. But as I was saying, yeah, men can be wild, and being with a horny man alone is a bad feeling. Even worse when it's nighttime and you're very far from home. But, like I said, you can choose to be a villainous person whenever you want. So the way I just simply chose, I was on the verge of a blackout. And the way I just stared at a wall with my eyes bulging, like, am I a good person? I'm not a good person. Am I safe? I don't think I'm safe. Am I a good person? The way this man sprung up, put on his clothes so fast, and was like, you're a good person, you're a good person. Timothy, let's get you home. I was like, I think I'd like to stay here. He was like, you sure you don't want to go home? I said, nah, I'd like to stay here. Not even home? Nah, I like it here, and I like you, and I should stay. I think that would be so fun being with you. And he was terrified. And if you're wondering, yes, I've tormented the fuck out of that nigga. I literally slept over at his house, woke up in the middle of the night at like 3 a.m. from a random hyper realistic nightmare, screamed bloody murder at the top of my lungs. This man ran out of his room in his underwear, angry as fuck. He looked like he wanted to kill me. And by morning, whatever demon that takes over his soul in the nighttime was exorcised out of his system. And he was like, hey, Timothy, awesome. Let's go out for breakfast and take a walk by the beach. Let's have a day together. And anytime I tried to mention what happened last night, he tried to just keep it. He just didn't want to address it. He was like, she's pretty and I want to keep her around. That also is another example of like men who just, oh, also, if you're wondering, yes, that guy still wanted to see me again after all that happened. Me talking to myself and being so close to whooping his ass for the pure fucking love of the game. Since you know what, if we're just doing whatever, if you're doing character impersonations of Bane from Batman, with Darth Vader, and you're trying to be like, oh yes, I'm your daddy, I'm your father, yeah, I'm gonna, and then I get to fucking, if you get to be Bane, I'm gonna be Batman, and I'm gonna give you a lethal ass whooping. You want to be a clown so bad, you could be the Joker, and I put the fucking hands and feet on you, and we have fun with it. But you know, funny enough, he still wanted to date me. It was so fucking funny. And then after that, there was who? Oh yeah. Also, funny enough, the dude where you know how I said I dated a dude when I was 18 and he was 29 and put the hands and feet on him. That didn't stop him from trying to circle back on me repeatedly either. It was the same energy of like I was like losing my mind and getting really close to crashing out, and then I was like, actually, I'm not gonna focus on him, and I'm gonna like just mind my business and focus on myself. I did that twice. Both times he started obsessing over me again. It's really weird. Men will just be offended. Like, oh my God, it happens so often. It happened even with that one weird racist white supremacist dude I dated like a few months back. That same dude, multiple times. Like, he was like, stop contacting my family! Stop contacting my family! You're fucking ruining me! Do you know what you're doing? Do you know the pain you've caused me? And then, like, but if you gave him like another 10 minutes on that phone call, you would hear him smiling with me. And then he'd slip in a, so what are you wearing? And what's under it? And it's, it was so funny. And then he would, it's anger, lust, attraction, sadness, anger again at himself and at me, ghosting me, stalking me online, asking me how my next date went because he'd hear about me going on a date and get jealous. And it's like, why are you jealous? Just like a few days ago, you said you never want to see me again. But now you're upset because someone else is going to get my attention. Someone else is going to get stalked. You're not getting stalked. You're going to get abandoned. Oh, no one loves you but me, so you love me. I have to say, it's very funny. It's also kind of funny. My dad, I was conceived despite a restraining order, consensually. Because my dad, one, he's attractive, or was. Ugh, ugh. Sorry, no offense to that man. Not like I care, but still, no offense to him. I remember when I was younger, I had to ask my mom, hey, you're so pretty, and he's so you know, why did you two get together? And the way she cackled her ass off hearing that, and she had to explain that back in the day he was a fine looking man. He was very attractive. And she showed me and eventually my grandmother showed me a photo. And it was like, oh yeah, I see why someone would be attracted to a 6'3", extremely handsome, dark-skinned man with a jawline like a baseball plate, big sparkling eyes, full lips, good facial hair, fancy haircut, broad shoulders, good chest, like good. It's like, yeah, this looks like a dude who you wouldn't mind having hide in your bushes and scaring off any men who you had dates with. And that is what he did. Anytime she tried to have a date, this nigga would pop out the bushes and just be like, "What the fuck are you doing with my woman?" And then scare off every single man. She couldn't even have a dude, like, no dudes could have a first kiss around her. Because he was gonna go to war for his adorable, evil ass, autistic, fucking stupid bitch. Fucking he was like, this one's got green eyes and she's pale and she's got big old titties and she likes me and I've known her forever. She's my childhood best friend. Also, do you know how many fucked up childhood best friend stories I have with women? I've had 4 relationships end because of the whole girl best friend thing. I've learned my lesson. I'm not letting lightning strike a fifth time. I don't allow that shit. If you have a girl best friend, then that's the only woman you need in your life, and you're probably wasting her time too. You aren't gonna add me. You aren't roping me into it. I don't need to be like, that's a delusion ship. I'm not. Just keep me away from it. Cause hell, even my own mom and dad. Guess what? Several times my dad had a girlfriend. The second my mom called, he would sprint over to help her out. No wonder they eventually started dating. And then when he dated, he was too insane and possessive. She left. He was still insane and possessive. But eventually, I'll put it this way, he was insanely possessive and crazy, but also crazy, insanely good looking. And she was like, you know what? Maybe one more time, regardless of the restraining order, before I leave the state, to move away from his crazy ass. And let's just say condoms didn't work, and let's just say now you get 36-minute long videos where I get to tell you about why you should start abusing men, abusing them. And the trick is, like, break up with them first and then throw hands. Then it's not an abusive relationship. You're not an abusive girlfriend. You're just an evil bitch who was getting her revenge. Like, like, that's no longer your lover. That's just an op now. That's a lovers to enemies right there. It's not an abusive, you're not an abusive girlfriend if you don't abuse him while you're in the relationship. You break up with him first and then on his, like, just catch him at his doorstep when he's off work a few days later, and then you go home happy and healed. Like, I'm just saying. And the cops aren't gonna, also, the cops won't care about a slap. It's like, oh, you got slapped in the face by a woman? Okay. And like, cops don't even care if you shoot someone in the face point blank in the middle of broad daylight. Like, no offense, like, they're kind of useless people. I say it, like, very, very useless. Holy shit, crap! Like, I'm just saying. Oh my god, don't get me started. Once actually, in my neighborhood, a crackhead attacked a dude in a wheelchair, and then 8 cop cars who were already there to try to arrest the crackhead, but they couldn't just simply arrest him or move him out the way for, like, trespassing, disturbing the property, calling people slurs and flipping them off inches from their face. None of that. But and then the second he attacks a man in a wheelchair, all the 8 cop cars come back, and the cop on the scene tried to arrest the man on the wheelchair for hitting back in self-defense. Fucking stupid. Oh my god, it was the dumbest shit I had ever seen. It was hysterically, amazingly, and stupidly, hysterically dumb. Oh my god. Anyway, back to what I was saying though. Yeah, cops don't do shit. No one does shit. Do your own shit. It's the Wild West out here. Do what makes you happy. And sometimes put hands and feet on a nigga. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, funny enough, I remember though, my dad specifically gave me this tidbit story. He told me before. He was like, hell yeah, your mom tried to hit me. Because, she likes to hit people when she's angry. And she's got those big ass hands with those claws. So it hurts when she does it. And I had to show her not to do it. So when she hit me, I slapped her ass back. And, mind you, he's a big ass dude who's like a foot taller than her. And just like, it was like crushing an ant. Like, bam. But he says he didn't even hit her that hard. But either way, she starts crying. She's like, ah! And then my grandma comes, and the next thing you know, my grandma came out with a gun, and she always has a fucking gun. God, this bitch and her gun. Well, sorry, but either way, and then she pointed it at my fucking dad and was like, "Don't you fucking put your hands on my fucking daughter? Do you fucking hear me?" which is so funny because my grandmother, to my own mother, a factor to why my mom's such a crazy bitch to this day is that when my mom was 4, my grandmother put up that same fucking gun to my mom's face when she was 4 and said, "You ain't shit and you ain't ever gonna be shit just like I ain't shit." And the only reason she didn't shoot my mom in the face when she was 4 years old was because she passed out from crack and went to sleep. Very stupid. And then, yeah, anyway. So yeah, that's some fun backstory. Yeah, very fun. Yeah. Well, yeah. Unconventional family and dynamics all around. You can see why it's very hard to know what is and is not healthy perspectives of love and what to do and what not to do with partners. And let's just say, I always told myself I never want to be like them, but then unfortunately, a lot of people do a lot of bad things. So simply put, no offense, like because of my fucked up abusive ass fucked up weird family life and all the weird stuff they've shown me and done towards me and others, it's just like, okay, somehow I came out the other side one of the healthiest people in my family, which is really saying something. Really saying something. I have the most mental illnesses and I came out still the healthiest, but that's because I work very hard to do so. But do other people work hard to be good people? No, they will do all sorts of bullshit. So for now, as an act of self-care, I'm whooping ass because then I notice it's like I'm just saying, like it's like imagine you're someone who has like hella traumatic memories constantly surging through her fucking brain and is always stressed the fuck out and miserable, and you try to make yourself happy and you're like, I'm gonna go on a date with somebody, and then they're like, oh, I'm gonna specifically try to start negging this girl because I think she's better than me and I have unhealed mommy issues, and you try to be patient and you try to love someone through their issues, through their pain. Like, doesn't matter how nice they were in the beginning, they could switch up on you. Or so maybe it's someone who was a little shitty at the start, but not fully shitty, like still potential growth to be a better person, and you think, oh, I can change them and make them feel loved and blah 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 blah. They had a complex childhood. They're like a version of my mom, except savable and like redeemable. And then next thing you know, you end up in a terrible situation. So as a like sometimes I think honestly the best thing I ever like the blackouts I think are also a coping mechanism because like I'm just saying if you're someone where I feel so mentally unsafe that I feel like I have to black out and either faint or go into a special place in my brain as I proceed to beat the bricks off of you, or if I feel the need to be compelled to do terrible things to you or your family, you are probably not a good person because knowing me, it takes an extremely long time to get that reaction out of me. I don't just do it off the bat, but honestly, I think we should be doing that off the bat to men more. I think we should bring that back. Bring back abusing men. Or actually, it's not even abuse, because you know, some people have worse opinions from me. Some people think that all men should be forced, any single man born should be put in jail, and then they have to fight their way out when they're like 18 or so to try to get out. Like they need to fight other men to the death to have a right to be on this planet. And it was the funniest tweet I've ever seen. Some people think that most men should be killed, and anyone under the age of 13, though, is savable and redeemable and can be taught important life stuff. Like, hey, guess what? Rape is bad and don't abuse people, and here's empathy, because it's like we've fucked up so many generations of men on this fucking planet. And I'm just saying, beat more men. Like, no offense, like, my only regret for that evil relationship I had in 2024, which I will not talk about for my own mental health today, my only regret is not beating the brakes off that motherfucker. I could have. And even if he hit back, who gives a shit? Then now he looks double bad. It's like, cool, nigga, you're a rapist. And I fucking broke your nose. And if you want to put your hands on me back, cool. Now it's going to be very clear. It's like, cool, I hit this nigga who was trying to rape me. And he broke my fucking arm. And now you have to pay for my medical bills and get sued. And you're going to jail. And you're losing custody of the kid. So suffer and die, bitch. I'm just saying. And it's not lying to the police if he actually does it. So it's like, yeah. It's like, yeah, you were trying to. Tell them what you were doing before I smacked you. And then notice how the smack I left on you left your face. Well, okay, my slaps leave faces red as fuck. I slap very hard. But it's like, you know, by the time the cops would come, because cops are useless and they'd take forever to come anyway, they might not even come at all. Then they would probably be like, yeah, well, this woman is covered, has a black and blue arm, and meanwhile you have not even a single hint of pink on your face. We're going to go with the woman. And so I'm just saying, not like cops would even help in that situation, but still, it's like, hey, I can at least tell people I filed a police report because fuck this nigga. I don't give a shit. Like, unlike these niggas, no matter how obsessive I get, I will still call the cops on you. I don't give a shit. Funny enough, I actually had to fight my housemate, and I talked about that on here too when it happened. But let's just say, yeah, maybe when, like, let's just say it's not my fault that you're out there doing drugs or whatever the fuck, and that you're trying to sleep through 4 different fire alarms. Like, do you know how, like, imagine the sound of one fire alarm. Now imagine the sound of 4 all at once. And if you are still so fucking strung out on whatever the fuck you're strung out on, that you still somehow sleep through all of that, and then you want to get mad at me because the house is smoky, and it's like, nigga, all the windows are open, you're not gonna die, everything's safe, and then you want to try to assault me in my own kitchen and put your fucking hands on me and shove me and put your hands around my neck, then guess what? Boom, boom. Enjoy your sideways nose, you fucking Picasso. And then guess what? Called the cops. Cops. Well, we know the story, but it was still funny. Jesus, that. And then guess what? Now they're very polite and they're very quiet and they don't try to be fucking stupid, and that's smart. Or they're still stupid. Like, they'll still do very disgusting, terrible things, but it's like, not, or at least not in front of me. And I don't get hurt. Amen. Bitch ass nigga. Fucking idiot. Oh, moving on. Oh, but also, I'm just saying, sometimes I see shit that women go through. Like, there's husbands out there that are like, ooh, I don't want my wife to ask me to buy something embarrassing for her, like pads, so I'm specifically going to not get it so I can pretend that I didn't remember or I couldn't find the right product for her, so she never asked me to do that again. And it's like, oh, okay, so you're emotionally neglecting your partner because you, as a grown man, are afraid to buy cotton for obviously someone you're supposed to love in your life. No offense, I think your wife should be putting hands and feet on you. I think that she should, like, no offense, I think more women need to act like abusive fucking husbands did back in the 50s. Like, back then, it's like, hey, bitch, this chicken is cold. I think more women need to do that. I think it needs to be like, oh, where's my fucking pads? Yeah, I know you went to the fucking store and you came home with a bag of Cheetos, so you were in that same fucking aisle that I know the pads are at, and you just wasted my time. And then you take the belt and you whap, whap, whap. You make the sound, and then you just step a little too fast at him, and watch how quickly he's gonna go back to that fucking store. You tell him, don't bring your ass home unless you got it. And if you do, don't, like, if you try that shit again, you don't want to know what's gonna happen to you. And then you just have the belt and the baby oil ready. And make sure the belt buckle has rust on it so he remembers. Risk his life. I'm kidding, by the way. Just so I'm obviously being satirical. I don't know if people can tell I'm being a satire. Well, am I though? About the rusty part, yeah. Or, I don't know, I think we should just scare men. If anything, yeah, I forgot to mention when I was 18 dating that 29-year-old, he tried to neg me several times because men like to do that. They like to see if they can make you subconsciously feel low self-worth so that then you'll put out for sex faster or ask for less items or not be so confident around them if they feel not confident or whatever. Like, it's like a weird thing. And also, I think that we should be beating more men's ass for that. But I remember like, actually, yeah, I remember I was gonna beat his ass because I remember I put on one of his shirts and he was like, hmm, did you know that your boobs are lopsided? And I said, yeah, every woman's boob is lopsided. It always happens. Like, every woman's boob is just like, one is just slightly, ever so slightly bigger than the other. It happens. I knew what he was doing, but I was just ignoring it. And then guess what? He kept trying to do it and he was like, no, well, yours, I think, is just like so intense. Like, ooh, actually, like, ooh, I don't know. And the way I just simply, this is exactly what I did. I just looked at this nigga like, and then I just took one single strong step forward. And the way this man quickly was like, oh, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Oh, Ashley, it was just the lighting. Oh, they look great. They look so good. They look so good. And then it's like, there we go. That's how you fucking act. As a woman, especially as a black one, you need to do black mom treatment with the men you date. That's also a reason men love me so much, is because even though I'm a crazy bitch, they also kind of know, like, even when they would like think about filing the restraining orders that they know aren't gonna go anywhere, they'll be like, damn, I did kind of fuck her up that once. Well, yeah, maybe I should have properly broken up with her and shouldn't have just ghosted her and moved to Costa Rica. Maybe I could have not went out of my way to verbally abuse her as I left her for my girl best friend. Like they like shit like that. And also, usually the cops will tell them, seems like all this chick is doing is just texting. You could just block her, because guess what? You don't know her name. You don't know her. You don't have her real phone number. You don't even know her address. You love bombed her. Well, obviously the cops aren't going to say that, but it would be fucking funny if they did. The cops being like, you loved bombed her. How dare you send this nigga to jail? But the cops usually just, they're like, she's just texting you and you're not going to block her, and she hasn't harmed you or done anything, why would we arrest her? And even if she did, it's like, we probably won't do shit either, so just deal with it. And they usually are just forced to deal with the consequences of their actions themselves and admit they did wrong. They won't admit it openly to me, but in there, you can just sort of tell they still sort of feel bad. Like they know damn well what they did. Most men know what they do. So sometimes you have to be a bitch to them. You have to give them black mom treatment. For example, my ex Liam, it's amazing how once I actually did get close to hurting Liam, I didn't do it though, because I loved him. But there is a broken mirror in my bedroom specifically from the time it happened. He was fine. I didn't kick him. I just waited until he left, and then, like, my house screaming and crying in total embarrassment and fear, seeing me say evil things to him in a fit of rage. And then I kicked my mirror with my bare foot, and I was bleeding everywhere. Yeah, I really love glass items. Jeez, or hate. Do I love them or hate them? We're noticing a trend here of me breaking glass items. Wow. Yeah. And if you're wondering why that happened, I'll put it this way. Liam, you knew damn well if I invite you out to go to this restaurant with me and go to the movies, and then, okay, you asked to split the bill for the restaurant, okay, that's fine, whatever. Or ask me to cover tip, that's fine, whatever, I'm fine with that. That's one thing. It's a whole nother thing to be like, oh, actually, I don't think I want to see a movie. Nigga, I started off I've been wanting to watch this movie for weeks, and I told you that, and you knew the only thing I was like, if you want to see me today, as long as we go watch this movie, because this movie is what I've been looking forward to all week. It's the whole thing I want to do. It's all I want to do, and it has my favorite actor in it. I just have to. I'm putting it this way. You know I wanted to see that fucking movie all week. You knew this was the special day I had to see the grand premiere of this movie, and also it was a matinee, so it was like $5 a person. And my whole day was planned around seeing this movie, as it's rare I go to the movies these days as an adult. I used to go all the time. As an adult, I don't go as much. And then you mean to fucking tell me you don't want to watch a movie? And considering you live super far away, and I can't just like watch a movie without you and tell you, hey, sit at this bench for 2 hours as it starts to get dark and cold. We don't watch the movie. Okay, we go back to my place. We cuddle, I'm naked, all that, but I don't have sex with him. And then he starts getting a little all whiny and emotional and shit because I won't fuck him and won't put out. And it's like, yeah, like we didn't exactly give me a stimulating, exciting day. We didn't have any wonderful conversations. You didn't laugh at any of my jokes. We didn't have it. Like, I just simply, but what I said was basically, with all the patience I could, it's like, well, yeah, we didn't do the movie I wanted, and I was really looking forward to that, and it just wasn't a super romantic day, so I don't feel like having sex. And I forget what I said specifically, something super casual, but he did this really high pitched, shitty, whiny asshole voice, and it made me feel a special level of rage that my mom used to feel whenever she heard my little brother talk with a baby voice that would just make her go into an explosive fit of rage. And next thing you know, I started blacking out. And next thing you know, I said a bunch of terrible things, and I think, oh, I said so much mean stuff to him. I felt so bad about that. And I started hitting myself because I didn't want to hit him. I started hitting myself in front of him though. And then I screamed at him at the top of my lungs in that scary deep voice that I'm able to do. Like when I'm really angry, I can do an impressively deep voice that comes from like here or here. And I screamed so fucking loud. that like he fled for my house in total terror, like crying and screaming at the top of his lungs. As a grown man, mind you, at this point in time, he was like, what? How old was he? He was 25, 24, 25. He was 20. Was he 25 when that happened? Ew. Sorry. That's too old to be acting like that. I see why I did it. Yeah, but let's just say, I think after that, I forget when he stopped the squealing thing. As an adult, he has a squealing problem, but these days he's calming down with the squealing thing. Thank fucking God. He should stop doing that. He won't have sex with anybody if he keeps crying like a fucking kid. Anyway, I apologized. We got over it. All things heal with time. But to sum it up, what happened after that? Oh, we still see each other to this day, and we have a great bond. Another instance, this with the same guy, Liam. He's lovely. Me and him, we went to, where did we go? We went somewhere really nice. Oh, we had plans again, and like let's just say we had plans to go to a specific restaurant. He knew it. We had been to this restaurant plenty of times, and he has a problem with weaponized incompetence. Like he had a skincare issue, and you could give him a product for it, he would mysteriously lose it. If you wanted to go to an event with him before the sun went down for daylight savings, before it got dark and cold at 4 p.m., he would mysteriously sleep for 12 hours straight. Like, things like that. And then, like, let's just say eventually, even my housemate back then, when me and my housemate used to talk, my housemate is fucking, they're non binary. I won't say queen or king. They were just the majesty, sure. They were the oracle of motherfucking weaponized incompetence with their ugly, stupid bitch ass. Because the way they were like, oh, I'm sure he's just losing all of it. As if. Like, men don't have a lot of places to put things. And that I was like, yeah, that's true. Also, my housemate is weaponized incompetence. It also took me screaming at them and doing black mom treatment for them to start cleaning up around the place and stop doing nasty shit. So, sometimes you gotta do it. It's important. I'm so glad I stopped being the nice, docile Negro and I started being the meanest person in the room. Especially because I forget that as a black woman, you have certain privileges. You could say certain words and do certain things that other people can't. And some people will let you get away from it. Some things will be more terrifying because it's coming from you. I'm only realizing that this year. And because of that, I'm having so much fun tormenting people. It's so fun. It's so fun. But as I was saying, my ex Liam had a bad problem with weaponized incompetence, and he'd want me. You couldn't ask him to plan a date. You couldn't ask him to even look up something on Google without him going, "Oh, and how do I do that?" Like at some point when we were hanging out, I said, "Hey, baby, can you look up how to get to that chicken and waffles spot?" And he said, "Okay, cool. How do I do that?" And I just simply said, "Oh, the same way you found out how to get here." And then he said, and then he stopped with his little he deepened his voice and he's like, "Baby, I'm just asking a question." And I said, "And I'm just giving you an answer because you know how to get here and you know how to use Google Maps. You know the name of the place. I think it's pretty simple, really." And he tried to do the squealy voice, like a mix between the squealy voice and yelling at me, where he was like, "Baby, I'm just trying to ask you a question." And the way I just slowly turned to this nigga like, and I did the face that just screamed, "I will domestically abuse you." And I had a nice little like I had a voice that was like calm and tolerant, like a teacher or like a parent who's just this close to taking you to the bathroom when you piss them off at the fucking restaurant. And I just was like, "Sweetie, you know what I want to do. Well, you know what I want you to do. Will you do it?" And lo and behold, he did it. And then in under 6 seconds, he was like, "The bus says it's going to be here in 6 minutes." And I just said, "Thank you," with my happy voice and went back to being in a good mood. And you saw this man get depressed as you just saw in his face, he realized he lost his biggest game card of weaponized incompetence. Like, I'm just saying, it's like, congratulations. I hope you played yourself and you got exposed for making yourself look pathetic and like a 4-year-old. And so because of that, I have to treat you like I'm your fucking mother and not in the cool and sexy way. Or actually, yes, it was a cool and sexy way because he respected me more after that interaction, and also he's still very much to this day is attracted to me because I will do that to him. But I also treat him well, like good mommy treatment. So like We have a good bond. Like he'll be in the DMV about to have a panic attack, trying to get like a driver's permit because he's nervous about something, and I'll be quick to spring up and be like, "Hey, sweetie, come with me. We can go to the FedEx next door, and we can get that email printed. It's no problem. Yeah, we got this, baby." And like, yeah, so we have a fondness for each other still. It's still a positive dynamic between us. But is there anything else to say? Yeah, sometimes you have to just treat men like bitches. Sometimes you have to. You have to. It's actually something I wish more people would do. Like if you don't put hands and feet on them, just get used to calling them bad things. Like that is an unfortunate thing about being a black woman, that we get associated with being the ones to verbally abuse men, but no offense, I'm a very nice person and we all know how men act. So it's like when I meet white man audacity, I pull out the black woman card and it's like, nigga, you got me fucked up. Sit your ass down now. And then it's like I won't, and they'll hear that clap and they sit their ass down. They know that. Like I remember once I was talking to a man's mother and we were having such a sweet conversation, and then the second I heard that man come out the bathroom, I was like, "Go wash your hands." And the way he and his mom were like, "Oh, like his mom was overjoyed. He was like, "What the oh," and he went and washed his fucking hands. It's like, nigga, I know you were in there taking a shit, nasty white man. What the fuck? What the fuck was that? And I know you're like, to me, did you keep dating him? He was hot. You excuse certain actions if people are hot enough. That's just kind of how it works. He was gross as fuck though. Oh, I have stories. I already made a video about that, but with the loofah, we can talk about with the and the picking of the nut. I don't want to talk about it. Let's not. Let's just say you have interesting relationships when you're like 18, 19. Is all I'll say. And you know what? We've talked a lot about the shitty men I've dated in this video. So, like, he was at the time one of the least shitty. And then when I got older and my brain developed, I was like, wait a minute, that nigga made me pay for all my own food. And he was trying to fuck other bitches and schedule dates with me and the same women in the same hangout, like seeing if he could do a 2-for-1 deal at having me and that girl hang out at pride events. I don't know. Let's not talk about him. That nigga can suck my dick to this day. Fuck him. He's weird. And also, but he was also one of those dudes I still loved through his mommy issues. But holy shit. Sometimes you see why his mother did what she did. It's like, wow, wow, nigga. Oh my god. Sorry. He's some of these people, god. Anyway. It's always good to have it in your system to just remind yourself you're a lovely woman and you can usually leave and do better than how these people are treating you. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, like, if you don't want to do anything I said in this video, at least remember this. Have it in you to be willing to tell a man that he's pathetic or lame or whatever. And also don't be afraid to, like, just have an energy of, like, I'll kill you before you think you can ever successfully even touch me. And if you have that energy, you'll have a lot nicer of a dating life. And then you can make men your bitch. Hell yeah. But aside from that, yeah. I just wish more women would. I wish that there were, like, men will be out here negging and then, like, still successfully having relationships. And it's like, why are you dating a man who's making you feel bad like that? You should be whooping his ass. You should be whooping his ass. Women get stressed out and it can make the like terrible hormonal changes and fibroids. You're like, once I had a dude who was so stressful for me that I had my period 5 times in 1 month. It was never ending and he was still trying to force me to have sex with him and more. And let's just say I had the time of my life when I eventually had to beat that nigga's ass for trying to rape me. And let's just say one of the happiest days of my life. I think about that like multiple times a week actually. Whenever I get a little bit too stressed out, I remember, like, you see this big ass hole in my wall? I put one just as big in his because I threw a metal fucking water bottle at his head twice. And I was only off by this much. That man was terrified, and when he sprung up out the bed, he got a fucking knee to the chest, knee to the gut, foot to the dick, foot to the balls, another like almost whole toe up his ass. The way I was manhandling him, that nigga was so funny. And then when the ass whooping ended, I was like, "Take me home now!" And then he was like, this nigga literally sat up and was like, "Oh, it hurts. Uh, oh, it hurts. Why'd you go so hard? The fucking hurts." And when I think he kind of hit the bed once in a bit of frustration, and I was like, "Who the fuck you think you're doing that to?" And he flinched so hard. And he was like, "Please stop, please stop, please stop," and he was scared. It's like, and then the way this nigga just like casually was sitting there trying to still be like, "Wait, I still want you to stay. Can you please stay? Can you please say no, nigga, take me home?" He he kept trying to stall so I could stay on because he was like, "I forgive you. We could just cuddle and lay down and sleep, nigga. Have some self-respect." God, Jesus. Also, just so you know, that one dude I talked about putting hands and feet on before with the girl best friend, just so you know, we had sex like once or twice after that happened. Like, not the same night. It took like a month. I'm just saying, niggas are very forgiving when it comes to me. A lot of my exes are Catholic and also evil and stupid as fuck and white. God damn it. I want to break that cycle eventually, but there's so many Catholics out here. And all the dudes who are hot are a Catholic, Irishmen, Latino men, fucking Italian men, all Catholic, all evil and horny and very good at sex. The only one who isn't Catholic is Liam. He's just naturally a sweetheart. God bless his soul. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Liam, once I remember I told him, "Hey baby, thanks so much for agreeing to come over and help me clean my place. Just so you know, can you check every single like paper bag or envelope, even if it seems like it's just empty or cluttered? Because sometimes I put like really expensive things in these bags on accident, like I'll drop in an earring, blah blah blah. Can you do that for me?" He said, "Oh, well, of course, baby, I can do that." Let me tell you, I caught this man almost throwing out an envelope with my lease agreement, $1,000 in it, and my fancy $300 ring. And I had to warn him. I was like, "Liam, what the fuck? We just said a rule. What the hell was that?" I was disappointed, but I was being very patient about it. I forget if I spoke to him a certain tone, but it very much was like, "Nigga, I'm pissed. Like, let's lock in here." He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I won't do it again." You want to guess what happened next time he was over? He almost threw out another separate envelope, chock full of beautiful, gorgeous jewelry. And I had to be like, "Liam, what the fuck are you doing?" And simply put, every time I get angry at him, I always like that wasn't my last time having him come over to clean because I was really desperate for help and he was very sweet and wanted to do anything for me because he loves me. He really does love me, you could tell. Because it's like, "Yeah, I'll come over and help you clean your filthy apartment. I will squat in the corner for hours picking up very random loose bits of crumbled up post-it notes if it means I can make you happy and that you can have a safe, sterile household." He's a very sweet man. Not a smart one though. Very sweet though. Not very smart, but incredibly sweet. And we love that. Let me just say, I've never had to put hands and feet on him, but every time I think to myself, "Oh, I wonder what expensive, like, I wonder if the next time I had him over for cleaning, I wonder how many more times he did exactly that and threw out money or threw out jewelry, and I just didn't catch him these times. I want to beat his ass. I should have went off at him. I should have popped off at him even harder to really scare into his system that he should never fucking do that. I was being too nice, blah, blah, blah." But you know what? Every time I get a little bit too mad about that, I just think of all the millions of times since then I have dogged him out. And also that time I literally slept with a guy within like an hour or 3 hours of our breakup when we first broke up years ago, and how that probably emotionally devastated him to this day and fucked with his self-esteem. And it's like, yeah, never mind, I won't be mad about it. Or if I still get mad about it, I just ask him for money or like a gift because it's like, eh, fuck it. I'll just make sure you keep buying me stuff that equals or supersedes whatever cash, jewelry, gifts, or cool stuff you might have thrown out on accident that one time. Anyway, I think we should be putting more hands and feet on men. I think we should. It's healthy. Because, men will do things to see if they can get away with abusing you. And it can be slow, like the an analogy of a boiling frog. It's like that, and you don't want to be at the point where a guy starts off as a dreamboat. The next thing you know, he stops complimenting you. The next thing you know, he starts asking to split the bill or ask you to do less. Or next thing you know, like he keeps future faking but then not keeping up with his word. Then next thing you know, like, and then you just see like a gradual descent into the person you love starting to be like the shitty, neglectful person who won't take photos of you in public, says that you look shitty even when you've gotten dressed up just for him, undervalues everything you do. And then I'm just saying that can very quickly descend into like intentional chaos. Like you'll try to rebuild a life of peace around him, and he will try to destroy it on purpose just to fuck with you. And you know what you have to do? Like whoop that nigga's ass right then and there. Once the first time, like you just, or at least have the energy of someone who has nothing to lose and absolutely will do it. I have that at all times. I'm like that scary nigga from Hunter x Hunter. That, you know, the brother of that white-haired kid, the freaky ass nigga who wore a disguise in the first few episodes of that arc. I'm like that one. My aura is so fucked up. You could just feel my nin when I hate you. You could just feel it, and people get terrified of it. And it's like I've openly had people be like, "You have a scare? I'm scared of you." When I feel good, they feel good. When I feel scary, it's like, "Oh, I, I see, I ha," and it's so fun. Mm. So yeah, let's just say, if a man tries to start nagging you, immediately grab him by his fucking chin and be like, "You are fucking nothing," and then spit in his mouth. He will probably like you more because men brains are sick like that. They're kind of wired for vasopressin. So if you stress him out, he will accidentally fall in love with you. If he says something like, "Hey baby, I can't buy you that shirt. I've been spending too much money lately. Uh, and I just don't want to," like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, let's say Valentine's Day comes around and he hasn't given you a gift and he just alludes that you weren't worth it remembering for it. It's okay. Because what you're going to do is you're going to give him a personalized gift of his face on a t-shirt. And like for all of his family members. Put that nigga on a shirt today. That's a fucked up ass joke. Jesus Christ. Just because he didn't give you a little 5 cent lollipop, but it's not about the lot. Actually, it is. If it's a little 5 cent lollipop, it's 5 cents, nigga. You could have gotten it. You went and got the Cheeto Puffs in the same aisle. I know you were in the same aisle every fucking day to get Cheeto Puffs. You could have gotten me one of their little clearance lollipops and a sweet little card, but you didn't. So it's like, I'm going to give you the gift of hands this season, and that is it. We will have a very red and purple themed Valentine's Day for sure from all the fucking scratches and bruises you're going to get. And if you can't tell, I'm being satirical. But for more severe stuff, like if a guy tries negging you, if he tries sexually coercing you, if he tries to put in low effort, I think you just need to have the ever so present energy of it with a man that you will always leave no matter what. And leave the first time he fucking pisses you off. Even if it's small scale, the first time he even tries to be stupid, tell him to his face, "That's fucking stupid." Oh, like you know what to fucking do. It's obvious. You could do it like you could do it so sweetly when you insult him. Like you know how in the 1950s and before then you couldn't just call a man a fucking idiot to his face. You had to be really nice about it. So you know you could be like, "Oh my dear, I'm sure you know what to do." You know like slight passive aggressive condescension. And when that doesn't work, full on aggression. Go scorned earth. Hell has no fury like a woman scorned. You need to whoop that nigga's ass. Break a bottle over his fucking skull. If he tells you he's gonna order pizza, no, the fuck he's not. He's gonna be like, "Yes, officer, the pizza has a gun." Like, you're gonna hear it on the phone. Mm. Also, if you're wondering, that's just a reference to a song my friend made called "The Pizza Has a Gun," and it references having to whoop a nigga's ass. But sometimes you do have to whoop a nigga's ass. Like, you do. You do. I think I've already painted enough of a picture over an hour. Sometimes you do. If anything, my mom probably could have avoided everything with her fucking. Well, okay. In hindsight, she couldn't have because he hit her back. But still, after the gun got pointed to his face, he learned the valuable lesson to not hit my mom. So my mom could have kept hitting him. And anytime it's like, "Stop being fucking possessive. I can see who I want. Stop being fucking weird." Like she could have been doing that. Because, you know, it's not like she had a girl best friend. It's not like she was sneaking out into the night. It's like, no, I'm just greeting a work colleague from across the street or an old high school friend, and you're out here tripping. So if you think you can be the villain in the room, nigga, I'm gonna show you that I am the secret fucking hidden boss. You will hear boss music when I enter the room. You're gonna hear da dun da da dun dun. You gotta have the thumbs out. So, and also I remember an ex when I was 18, the ex who ironically was a shithead, but it's okay. Least shitty for the time period. Kind of was still shitty, but less than the others. The bar was very low. Let's just say for him, he said the best thing you could do when you punch is like, I have long nails, so it's a little hard. Have your thumb out, and then like I think he said aim for this part of your fist, because this is where the most bones is, and don't move your body. Just like don't coil back, because he'll see that coming and stop you. You just need to full on. You get a lot more force and power when you just bam, when you just fully lift your arm up and very quickly, just immediately, and do it somewhere lethal, like the nose bridge is always good. Nose bridge, temple will kill them if you're not careful. Jawline if you want to knock them out, stuff like that. That information has came handy plenty of times, and it's a shame I have to say that, but it has. Fuck these niggas, dog. They need to get the fucking hands on them. That's why I believe every woman needs multiple self-defense classes and a razor and a taser. You need to cut niggas, you need to fucking electrocute them, you need to torment them. They need to learn their lesson. Be nice to women. Because we have too many uncivilized chavs out here. Chaps, or whatever the fuck they use. Old chap. Like this old chap over here, being a total fucking menace to society, adding up to nothing. Women, I'm just saying, if you get one of those weird dudes approaching you in public, with a mic trying to ask you your body count, spit in that nigga's face right now. Say, oh, your mother last night is my only one, and walk away. If he tries to call you a bitch, go ahead and just kick that nigga in his bird chest. Totally evaporate his esophagus with your fucking stiletto heel. You have that power as a woman. Fuck it, because you know what? Do it. Life's short. Have fun with it. Get experimental. Do some Mortal Kombat level shit. Practice all the moves. Do the Konami code. Whatever makes you happy. I'm just saying, really, really, really have fun. The most important thing is have fun. Because it's like a man won't hesitate to terrorize you, so I think you need to terrorize him back. That's all I'm saying. Make his life live in hell. Peace out.